Yo, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. In my video, I will be reacting to Getting Fired at Dirty 2 Almost Broke Me. This is my first time watching this video. Let's get into this video. But before I get into the video, she's gorgeous.
Welcome back to the channel.
But let's see.
Today's video is actually a
She got
continuation
fired.
of the firing video. So if you have not seen the firing video yet, please go back on my feed and watch that video because it'll give you more context as to what I'm talking about when it comes to this video. But if you
Hold up.
I got fired for the first time in my life.
I'm gonna watch this video when she's saying she almost got fired.
Ever since I've been working at 16, but I kind of deserved it. First of all, I want to give a huge thank you to everybody that watched and supported and liked and shared and subscribed because of my last video. That video was just something I did out of whim because I really felt like I needed to just express myself. So I'm so happy that it went really well because I was just hoping to get at least like 500 views. Not as many views and not as much attention as I got now, but I'm so thankful. Another thing is I've been on YouTube for a very long time. Well, not on YouTube, but I've been posting every now and then on YouTube for a while, and I never got any recognition or attention or anything. So the fact that I told my story and you guys all can relate to it, you know, and really like it, I really, really appreciate it. Again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let's get on with the story. Obviously, I cannot mention the name of the company because of privacy reasons. So back in 2021, I was looking for a job for about 9 months. It took me 9 months to find this job. And the job was a project manager at a tech company. The thing that made this job really special to me was it was the first time I was actually able to use the skills of being a producer, an editor, and a creator on a job. Because every other job I had before was more like retail jobs, customer service, things like that. It wasn't like in the creative sector much. But this job, I really, really loved it. And I worked really hard at getting it. When I first got the job initially, I knew something wasn't right about it just because I felt a little bit like a fish out of water. Remember, this is the first time I've ever gotten any sort of creative role, any sort of creative job in the field that I wanted. Like when you know in your gut that something is not right, you gotta kind of go along with that. So I didn't
always gotta
really
trust your gut
know
feeling.
much about project management.
You gotta always trust your gut feeling, no matter what your gut feeling will say.
Didn't really know much about how the job was supposed to be really done. Because again, project management wasn't necessarily my thing, but it was something that had to do with creativity and had to do with production and video stuff. But it wasn't necessarily my thing, quote unquote. But I really did like the fact that I finally got a job in the field. I finally can kind of like work my way up. It had really great benefits. I met the most amazing people, the most talented people on the team. I got this job in November of 2021. And then in December, around the holidays, they flew us all out to New York. The headquarters of the job was in New York. So even though I was working remote, they paid for our hotel rooms. The office was beautiful. And it was really like, literally it felt like a dream come true. During the Christmas party, they had an ice sculpture at this party. You know what companies made it when they can have an ice sculpture of their own company when you first walk into the party. The food was amazing at this Christmas party. The music was, they had a live band. I just felt like this was literally a dream come true after looking for a job in this sector for so long. So the role of the job was project management. And project management is basically you are managing a project from beginning to end. It could be a project on anything. I was the one that would talk to the creators about what was going on and what to expect from the client and what to expect from the project. I kind of marry the client and the creators together so they can get a vision of what they wanted to work on that project. And again, I really didn't have a lot of experience with project management, but I really wanted the challenge and I wanted to...
You want to take the challenge and see how,
what
she would do.
Project management involves two things though, two major things: organizational skills and management skills. And unfortunately for me, I don't have that. I don't have the best organizational skills and management. I'm not very good at like quote unquote leading people or telling people what to do. That's why I felt like the job wasn't necessarily right for me because I didn't really have the skill set needed for the job at the time. At the beginning of the job, the company was going through a little bit of a reorganizational phase. People were being placed onto certain teams. Depending on your skill set, you were being placed on a certain team. Depending on if you were new to the company, you were being placed on a certain team. I was placed in a team that I did not feel like was right for me. I was like, I don't really know if I want to be on this team because I don't think I have the skill set for it. Because the thing is, I was noticing that some people that were in the same role as me were being placed on certain teams that were right for them. But the team I was placed in didn't feel like it was right for me. So I spoke to my manager and said, I don't think this team is right for me. I think I should definitely be on this team because I feel like I would match that skill set a little bit better.
What did the manager
But guess what the manager did? Ignored me. Didn't pay attention to what I was trying to say. She actually told me to just be appreciative of the fact that I was on a team and just not, say anything. But the thing that really struck me was the fact that this company labeled themselves as, we will listen to your needs. We will listen to what your problems are. We will take your feelings into consideration. They say that stuff and then they just don't do that at all. They don't listen to your needs. They don't listen to you. As I got to know my team and work with my team, I started getting more projects, of course. I started handling more projects. I started kind of feeling the company more. And about 8 months into the role, my manager started noticing that I was making mistakes. I was making a lot of mistakes.
When you're working, you're going
Again,
to
this job involves a lot of organization and attention to details, and just those skills I just felt like I did not have, and at least not for the team I was in. I kept making mistakes. I kept writing the information wrong. I kept missing little details. I kept telling clients wrong things that they shouldn't know or they should know, and my manager noticed it. At every corporation, at least at most corporations, there is a time where you get a review of your performance. And that time was coming up for me. And my manager sat me down and she was like, so I feel like you're not really where you're supposed to be 8 months into this role. But I feel like that was kind of our fault because we put you on the wrong team. I said this from the beginning, that I was on the wrong team.
She didn't listen.
But they ignored me. So now my manager's going to come back to me and say, I feel like we put you on the wrong team. But I said that from the beginning. So the thing about being put on the wrong team is just simply the fact that I did not get the effective training that I needed to be the team that I was supposed to be in. And so that really hurt my performance. So what my managers did was they decided that they will put me on the correct team this time, but put me on a performance review plan, which is something that companies do when they want to keep you, but then they kind of want to fire you, but they want to give you a chance to prove yourself so you don't get fired. They put me on a performance review plan, and I had about 30 days to improve my work. I did the best I could. My manager was really nice because she gave me a breakdown of what I really needed to work on, what I needed to hone in on, what I needed to just be better at the role. And I did I did every single thing that manager asked me to do. She was like, "Oh, you're doing great. You're doing good. Everything's fine. You're doing good. You're really catching up. I'm seeing improvement, blah, 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 blah." The Tuesday before, because I got fired on a Friday. The Tuesday before I got fired, I was supposed to have a meeting with her that Tuesday. The meeting changed to Friday. I was like, that's weird. I don't know why we're meeting on a Friday instead of Tuesday, but whatever. That should have been my red flag. That should have told me something was not right. Something in the water is not kicking. Friday comes, I thought it was going to be a regular meeting between employee and manager. My manager comes on the screen. Remember, this was Zoom. So my manager comes on the screen, and then our HR person also pops into the meeting. And I was like, holy crap, this is it. I'm getting fired. I was shook. She was shook because I didn't see it coming. Because again, my manager said I was doing fine. I was catching up. Everything was looking good. I knew that it was game over for me. at this company. Then my manager proceeds to tell me, we feel like you haven't really been meeting the standards of the company, and unfortunately, today's your last day with us. And I was shocked. Because again, this is the first time I've ever gotten fired in my life. I've been working since I was 16 years old, and I've never been fired. So I was really shocked by this. I started crying. I started saying, this is unfair. I don't understand this. I don't know why this would happen. I told the HR person that I told my manager that they should have put me in the correct team in the beginning. The HR person said, oh, well, yeah, but you know, like, we thought you would be fine on that team, so that's why we put you there. We thought you'd be fine. She needed to be on the other team. That's the end of that. The hardest part about being fired, it wasn't like actually getting fired. It wasn't like, oh yeah, my income is about to deplete. Of course, that was hard too. But one of the hardest part is the fact that when they fire you, it's ruthless. It's like, boom, everything gets shut down. Remember, this was a remote role. They immediately shut me out of the company. They immediately cut off my communications, my Slack. They deleted my email. And it was just like, boom. 1 minute on Friday, I was up, ready. I had my coffee. I was ready to go. Literally by 9:15, after I logged into the Slack, I didn't have a job. I didn't have a connection. I didn't have anybody to talk to. It was crazy. After the company shut me out and I couldn't communicate with anybody, I was able to reach out to a few people that I worked with, and I told them that I was leaving and I was fired. But the thing is, people that I thought were my friends at this company didn't want anything to do with me after I got fired. It was really weird. There was a few women there that I thought I was close friends with. I was not. I found out after I got fired and got cut off, I was not friends with them. They were not my friends because they barely reached out to me. They barely said anything to me. But some people did reach out though. Some people that I didn't know very well did reach out to me. But the people that I considered friends did not really, they were not fucking with me like that. So it's quite interesting how things kind of turn around when things get really hard for other people.
Right.
After I got fired, I was devastated. I stayed in bed for about a week. I couldn't move. I couldn't talk to anybody. It was just a really sad and depressing experience. And of course, it could have been worse. I did receive a severance package, but it wasn't really a severance. It was just to pay for the next 2 weeks since they fired me. It was really devastating. I was so depressed. I had a lot of ideations, like thoughts in my head. I don't want to mention on here because I don't know about how YouTube goes about saying certain things on here, but I had a lot of thoughts, a lot of inappropriate thoughts about myself and doing certain things to myself that I really shouldn't be having, but it was because I was so depressed and so emotional. Luckily, right after I got fired, about a week later, I was able to find a contract job right away, and I kind of started at a production company doing exactly what I was gonna do. And this job felt much better. The thing about this job, the contract job that I took it was contract, it was limited, it was only about 6 months. It didn't have insurance. They didn't offer me trips to New York. The pay was actually really low, but guess what? I felt much better about that job than I did at my high-end New York City project manager job. It didn't matter what the job was. It mattered at the fact that I felt much more comfortable in this role that did not have all the perks of being in that job that the new job did. And I really enjoyed it. The reason why I deserved to get fired is because I wasn't very good at the job. And yeah, the company could have totally given me a better training experience, but I just wasn't good at it. It just wasn't my thing. And I knew that from the beginning. I knew that the job was not right for me from the beginning. But I took it anyways because I really wanted a creator job and I really wanted to start on my career. But I knew from the beginning it wasn't right. It wasn't sitting right with me. And that's why I do have, I have a therapist, and my therapist told me that it would have been really hard for you to concentrate on that job and do the right thing on that job if it did not feel right.
Right.
It's hard to
It's
do
true.
work and focus
If
and
it
do a
doesn't
good
feel
job
right.
when the job itself does not feel right. And that is the thing. It just simply didn't feel right. I didn't like being fired. Of course, it's not a good feeling. I understand why they fired me. I understand why I needed to do it, because I just simply was not good at the job. I was not very competent in that role. But I'm thankful that I got fired, simply because it opened my eyes to what I really wanted it to do, which was more
It opened her
production
eyes.
side versus marketing tech side. I'm more interested in producing things and making things and really being in on
I like
things
her story, though. The
versus
story's
like
good.
telling people what to
Story's
do
helpful.
and talking about data and information and selling people on things. The thing is, I would love to get back into the workforce, but I'm really afraid of getting fired again because it didn't feel good. It doesn't look good on a resume. I'm just really better off at this stuff. I'm better off at talking in front of the camera. I'm better off at making my own things, and I feel really good about it. Thank you again for watching and supporting and, essentially making my dreams come true so I don't have to deal with corporate anymore. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the love and support, and let me know in the comments if you've been fired, if you have been through something like this, and how that experience was for you and how you recovered. And if you guys want to know more about how I recovered and how I really kind of had to process my thoughts, I would love to talk more about that. But I will see you guys in the next video. This is so exciting.
This is it for this video. Thank you.
Your goal this year